What's on the video today? I'm going to talk about the possibility that rates could go up. I'm going to show you there's a catastrophe brewing that should bring the rates back down. And over the next 5 years, unemployment should skyrocket. So rates will be the least of your worries. But first, let me gloat. This is the longest 24 hours in history. Yeah, back on the campaign trail, Donald Trump said he would end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. He was inaugurated in January. It's currently the middle of August. The Ukraine war has not ended. Art of the deal. All right, first up, let's talk about the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar hits 13-day low as U.S. producer price data jolts investors. No, that's just not what happened. Where is oil this morning? Oh, that producer price jolted this. This is not looking good at all. And of course, there's a bigger supply of oil. Everyone knows there's a global slowdown happening. Oil prices are falling. I've said it a million times before, as an oil-producing nation, our dollar is very heavily influenced by what happens with oil. Here is Brent crude over the last month. See, 1 month. Here's the Canadian dollar over the last month. Oil, dollar. Do you see the similarities? No, it's not one-to-one. I'm not saying that the dollar is totally a petrodollar and it moves completely at the whim of oil. But it is heavily influenced. And right now, because oil is falling, the dollar is falling. But legit, this producer price data jolted the economy because the data was as bad as it was back in 2022. Remember when gasoline prices went through the roof and inflation went crazy? Yeah, that. What did the Fed do back then? Increased rates. What did everybody else do? Increase rates. Yeah, so it's quite possible that their stagflation is going to cause stagflation here. That the rates might go up, even though we need to cut rates to get the economy going again. And a few people have commented, hey, you said to lock in because rates were going to go up. I said lock in back here. Rates did go up. Like, this is the 5-year Canada bond. This is what underpins 5-year mortgage. 5-year fixed rates went up. Like, here's mortgage rates from the big banks. There's the variable rate. That's the 5-year fix. That's Scotiabank at the top over here. And then TD, BMO, CIBC, and Royal Bank down here. Like, you can see it. Royal Bank is pretty high here, almost 4.7. Scotiabank's at 4.74. Down here, that's a good price. When I said lock in, that was like 6 weeks ago, and things were closer to this than they were to this. So that's what I'm saying. If you can get something that starts with a 3 over here, just take it. 3.95, 3.89, take that. That's amazing. Don't expect a low 3. That ain't going to happen. Unless there's a bubble brewing in the US. It's been brewing for a while now. It's the AI bubble. Titled, "It Better Be Different This Time," the S&P 500 price to book value is 5.3x. Price to book value is over here. So it's what people are willing to pay for the stock compared to what it's actually worth. So if you can find a stock that's below 1, like a 0.8, a 0.9, oh, fantastic. If stocks are at 5.3, that's not fantastic. That's a bubble. I still get people saying there's a housing bubble, but I've shown that resale homes right now are selling for below their replacement value. Okay, so that would be below 1. If the stocks are selling at 5.3 times their value, what do you think is happening? What happened back here? That's the dot-com bubble, by the way. Now, every investment bro in the world will tell you that this is not a bubble because they're making money. It's 5.3 times their value. They ain't making that much money. And everyone's going to be out of work soon. So how are they going to make money? The end of the mega employer. For more than a century, armies of office workers were a necessary cost of doing business. Not anymore. Let me give you a caveat, okay? Automation in any business, that's desirable. Why? Because people make mistakes, right? If you automate, you can reduce the amount of mistakes that are made. So, given that you'll have fewer mistakes at likely a lower cost, most businesses, when possible, will automate. And a lot of office work is going to become automated. I saw an interview with the CEO of Salesforce the other day. He said 30 to 50% of their work is done by AI now. Like, just grasp that for a second. 30 to 50% of their work is now done by AI. That's essentially the same as saying that if he did not have AI, he would need double the workforce. Like I said, we need to cut rates to get people back to work, and we need to do that before the work disappears. Will we? Maybe not.